Today on CityCast Boise. Winter nights call for something warm, hearty, and let's be real, delivered. We're sharing our go-to spots for a cozy night in, from steaming hot comfort food to local hidden gems, plus the best and worst foods for delivery. Because not everything survives that ride home. It's Thursday, February 6th. I'm Lindsay Van Allen, and this is what Boise's talking about. Joining me today is Blake Hunter, our newsletter editor, and Evelyn Avitia, our producer. Thank you both for joining me today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Evelyn, how about let's go with you first. What was a spot you tried, or what's maybe a go-to place for you? Where are you getting takeout?
Okay, this is my go-to takeout spot. This is the spot that my parents are begging me. They're like, Evelyn, please grab dinner from here. I don't want to cook anything. No one wants to cook. We know that this spot is never going to let us down. It's in downtown Caldwell, and it is Golden Palace. It's a Chinese restaurant, and it is just so good. It's a classic Caldwell spot.
I love it. Okay, so what are you getting there? What is, I haven't been, so what would you recommend I get?
Okay, so we all get the same thing. We get the Mandarin chicken with the pork fried rice and then some of the crab rangoons. So good. The sweet and sour sauce, amazing. The chicken is just juicy and it's these huge, it's like a huge box of it. It's your traditional Chinese takeout boxes that you see in movies and all of that. Of course, they stick everything in there. And so yeah, super good.
That's one of my favorite things about takeout is sometimes you get a lot more food, which I always think is great because you're taking it home. So now you have dinner or lunch or whatever, and you have another meal. I love the ability to plan ahead.
Yeah, no, sometimes my mom and I are like, actually, we should probably just split one. And there's times where we're like, no, I'm so hungry. I really want my own. And we only finish half of our takeout. And we're like, oh, we should have split that.
I just want to jump in and endorse Golden Palace. Having gone to College of Idaho very briefly, it's the perfect, I mostly had Golden Palace as hangover kind of food, but it's kind of it's kind of perfect, what you want when you want takeout Chinese food. So I endorse this pick.
Okay, Blake, but I have to ask, did you ever go to Canton Cafe?
Okay, I'm kind of confused on this. Are these two separate restaurants?
Oh my
Have
goodness.
They changed?
Yes, these are two separate restaurants. You have Canton Cafe and then you have Golden Palace. They're both Chinese restaurants and both are delicious. But like our breakfast episode that we did, these are you're one of those. You're a Golden Palace person or you're a Canton Cafe person. And I originally was a Canton Cafe person.
Oh, okay. Why does Caldwell have so much beef between their restaurants? There's room for both, you guys.
Yeah, exactly. There's room for both. Both are delicious takeout options for sure.
So Blake, I'm really curious, what is maybe one of your go-to, just hits the spot, it's going to be just what you want, takeout spots in the Treasure Valley?
Yeah, I want to piggyback really quickly off of Evelyn's for takeout Chinese pick, because I feel like that's what people think about when they think of takeout food is Chinese. And so I just want to quick shout out, mention, just get off the top, North End Chinese restaurant on State Street. I live really close to it. And so it's just the perfect walk over to it and grab stuff. It's delicious. It's quite sweet. It's kind of the extreme of whatever you want takeout food to be. And so I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. But my kind of go-to is a restaurant that often people don't know about, even though personally I've been shouting their name from the rooftops for 3 or 4 years now, is Mount Everest Momo Cafe. I'm sure that I've talked to both of you on the podcast before. Have either of you been?
No, but I have only ever heard rave reviews. So I don't know why I haven't been yet.
Okay, you gotta go. It's over by it's in the strip mall by Filet on Broadway, kind of over by the Youth Ranch. They're Nepalese food, and so it's really fun because you get influences of Chinese Indian, and of course Nepalese food. But they're my like go-to. I started doing this takeout in the pandemic, like early pandemic days. I love this place because it's kind of nostalgic of that time for me for some reason. But their chana masala, so it's like chickpeas in kind of like a tomatoey, garlicky, creamy curry sauce, and it's just phenomenal. I featured them, like their dumplings, on our like dumpling episode in the article that I wrote about dumplings in Hey Boise. I love this spot. Like literally everyone that I've ever talked to who's gone there has loved it. They have so many good things. They have really good lamb if you're like trying to get into lamb. Everything there is just delicious. And the chana masala is also a great, if you have a vegetarian friend, this is a great place to take them literally just specifically for that dish. This is my comfort meal for sure. Like it's a home run every time.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, and they've got the foil containers, and so everything stays really warm, and it's very saucy. So you might get like a little bit of spillage, but like for me, sometimes that's kind of part of the journey. And then of course I recommend like naan with it. I don't know, anything that you get from there is going to be good. That's my pick.
Blake, I think you and I are very similar in that I also talk nonstop about my favorite takeout place, just in general, one of my favorite restaurants in the area, and that's Red Fort in Meridian. They serve Indian food, and it's just phenomenal. It's been months now, and it's still what I crave. It's a home run every time. It is so delicious. And some of my favorite takeout options for them are the paneer masala. It's so good. I always have to get a couple of orders of those because my kids just devour it. I also really like the chicken coconut korma. That's just so good. I love the golden raisins in it. I know it's a savory dish with golden raisins. Something about that. I just love that combo. I love their naan, and they package it with parchment paper and then in tin foil so it doesn't get like weird and soggy, even if I'm not eating it right away. So I really appreciate that. And then every time when we order a couple entrees, we get this giant box of rice, and it's delicious. You get tons of rice, tons of food. All of the entrees are pretty saucy, but they have these really nice containers where the lid like kind of clicks into place. So I know it's going to be solid. It's not going to spill. It's going to get to where I need it to go. And every time I'm like, oh, that was amazing. Like it's a hit with the whole family. So I know everybody's going to be happy. I just cannot say enough good things about Red Fort. It's just a winner for me every time.
It's delicious. My takeaways were some of their appetizers and desserts are really good. Their vegetable pakora, which is
delicious.
Related to like a samosa. So good. Also, the dessert is one of my favorites that I've kind of had at a restaurant in Boise, is their kheer. It's Kheer, so I'm not totally sure I'm saying that correctly. But it's on their menu, it says cardamom flavored rice pudding garnished with cashew nuts and golden raisins. I am also a huge golden raisin person in a savory or sweet application, so I'm right there with you, Lindsay. Yeah, I love Red Fort. You recommended it to me basically as soon as you came on the show last year, and it's been in the rotation for me too. I love it.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm always a little nervous when I recommend things because I'm like, oh, people are going to go. I don't want anybody to have a bad experience. And yeah, you messaged me and were like, this is delicious. I was like, phew, okay, yes, yeah. It is so good. I absolutely love it.
Lindsay, I have to hop in here real quick because I have been dying to do takeout from Red Fort. Is their takeout process pretty easy? Like, do you just order online? Do you call in? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I just order online. I've also called in. It depends. My husband and I have different methods we like to do it. Mm-hmm. I've done both, but yeah, ordering online, super easy. If you call, really easy. The time frame that they give you is very accurate, which I appreciate.
Okay,
so when they're like, it's 20 minutes, truly be there in 20 minutes. They'll have it in a little white bag, tied super tight. So you have to cut it to get into it. And it's going to be, yeah. So I appreciate it. They're very timely, whatever, but it's super easy to order, super easy to customize. They're very accommodating. So I've always whether I'm dining in or getting takeout, always a solid experience at Red Fort. They really do a great job. So I'm really curious, are there any takeout places that are new that you've tried recently, or something where you maybe stepped outside of your comfort zone and were delighted by what you found?
Yeah, I've got one I'll jump in with, which is Tarbush Kitchen. So this is like a Middle Eastern and Mediterranean place, and it's like part little market, like grocery market, and actual dine-in restaurant. And I had their takeout, and it was phenomenal. I got it, it's not new, but it was new to me. I'd never been. I'd been like meaning to go for years, and I like love Middle Eastern foods just kind of generally. And so I was excited for it and it really delivered. I got, let's see, what did I get? I got like, it's the entree that's like the mixed salad with like both lamb and chicken kebab. And then I got like the specific kind of hummus. That's, I think, what they're best known for is like their hummus plates and stuff, but their kebab is also phenomenal. I really, really liked it. I think, not that there like has to be a comparison as far as like Mediterranean stuff, but I think that a lot of people that I know really love Maza on State Street and now open in the Warehouse Food Hall. And I absolutely love Maza too. Go there all the time. But for kebab, I kind of think that I prefer Tarbush. I think that it was just like a little bit. The meat itself was more flavorful. I think that there was just like more going on. The rice was more flavorful. I was really, really surprised by it. The bread is more of like a pita style than a naan, but it's kind of a little bit of a mix between the two. It was great takeout. And there's also like really cute little tucked away booths that are like actually enclosed that you can eat in there. And like I said, there's a grocery market too, so that where you can find some things you can't find everywhere or in every grocery store in the Boise area. So this is like a new one that I tried specifically for this episode, and I'm really glad that I did because it's going to be in my rotation for sure. I kind of want to try everything that they have on their menu.
Blake, I love the way you talk about food.
Thank you. I think about it all the time.
Oh my God, this is amazing. No, you are really selling me.
Good. You got to try it.
I was going to say, you definitely make everything sound very appealing, or you have a way of describing the food that you've tried, and I'm like, I want to have that experience.
I think I'm not worried about people trying it and not agreeing with me, because I think if they don't agree with me, then maybe they had something else if they went because of me. You know what I mean? So I think that you just got to go for it. And like, I loved it. So I want y'all to go experience it too.
That is fantastic. Evelyn, is there anything new that you tried, or that you maybe stepped out of your normal routine of takeout, but you really, really enjoyed it and want to make sure other people have that experience too?
Yeah, so I think for lunch, this is a lunch spot, the Twisted Fig in downtown Caldwell. It's right on the Indian Creek Plaza. I'm going to continue shouting out all these Caldwell restaurants. But the Twisted Fig is seriously such a good, low-key lunch spot. It was really easy for me to just order a sandwich online and go pick it up. And it's one of those places where it's like, okay, I don't have any food, or I just don't want to make anything, but I really need lunch and I'm running around and maybe it's a chaotic work day. But you can order your meal online and pick it up and enjoy your lunch takeout. They have the most amazing sandwiches, from like hot ones to cold ones and soups. And I feel like their ingredients are just so fresh, which makes it really, really enjoyable.
So is it a situation where you just get to like customize, like I want this kind of bread, and you can like choose toppings, or is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they have like their specialty sandwiches. So my favorite sandwich is the Clucking Good. This is a hot sandwich. It's grilled chicken, Havarti cheese, bacon, avocado, greens, tomato, and your garlic aioli. And then you can pair it with like, chips, soup, or a salad.
This sounds good. I'm trying to like think. I don't even know where if I've seen the Twisted Fig like in downtown Caldwell. So
yeah, it's located in that new Oaks Brother marketplace right on Main Street. But yeah, it's right connected to that Indian Creek Plaza. You walk in, it is a tiny little shop. So you can eat in there, but I usually take my sandwich to go. How about you, Lindsay? Is there anything new that you've tried?
Well, I maybe cheated a little bit. I asked Reddit. I was like, okay, I know the places I know, but where's someplace maybe I don't know that I haven't tried. So I asked Reddit, and some people were actually frustrated. I asked, and I'm like, I feel like this is what Reddit's for, everyone. But there were a lot of recommendations for Fiesta Chicken, and
Yes.
I had never been, but the recommendations were rave reviews. So I was like, okay, we'll try this out. I'm really excited. And so I went, and first of all, like looking at the menu, the prices were amazing. Like cheaper
It's
than
so cheap.
McDonald's.
It's crazy
Yeah,
cheap.
cheaper than like McDonald's prices. And I was
Easy.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I was not expecting that. But I got some of the chicken tortilla soup, and that was really, really, really good. Like a tiny bit spicy. I'd say a medium Boise spiciness, but in a delicious, comforting way. And then I also got the birria burrito, and that was phenomenal. And like just stuffed completely full of like meat and beans and rice. Like it was a very hefty burrito. So I was definitely getting my money's worth. And it was just so good. We got an assortment of things for my family members. Everybody was really excited with what they got. The food was delicious. And I didn't know anything about it 2 weeks ago. And now I'm like, oh, that is firmly in our rotation. What a great place to just get some really delicious Mexican food.
Like you said, it is just ridiculously cheap. So I think that, I just grew up like there's still a little part of my brain that expects like takeout meals to be like $15 max. And that's just kind of not what you're seeing. Like even throughout all of our recommendations, like if you're getting takeout, it's probably going to be a little bit more than that, especially if you get like an app or drink or anything with it. But Fiesta Chicken, that is pretty reasonable to do. And I know that if I had kids, I'd be going to Fiesta Chicken all the time. Additionally, also because they have a drive-through. So kind of a win-win. I love it.
Yeah, no, that was one of the best points is like, I don't even have to get out of the car. I don't like that's my one hang up with takeout is like, I'd like it delivered, but I don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I do have to go in. So it's like, what is like, all right, I'll get ready enough to walk into the store. But no, with Fiesta Chicken, I was like, that's cool. I'm just staying in the car. Like
for sure. I want to jump in with a spot that is kind of tucked away. And unless you know about it, like it's hard to stumble across. This is tucked over by like the Ram by Boise State, kind of kitty corner across from like Whole Foods and Walgreens on Broadway. It's Nam Thai and Burmese. I did like a couple different curries they were all, I was doing this like with a vegetarian friend, and so we did all vegetarian dishes, and they have a bunch of different tofu options, and a couple of them, they would. So like we did a pad thai that was delicious. I knew their pad thai was going to be delicious, but then also in like the styrofoam takeout boxes, they had like the side of rice, and then next to it was like the tofu and the curry, but it was like wrapped in a little tinfoil pouch, just like by hand. But I thought that it was like a really smart and like kind of thoughtful way to do it. Everything from Nam is delicious. Also, going back to something that you talked about, Lindsay, is like the crispiness of food. Their samosas are made with like, it's probably not technically a phyllo dough, but it's, super, super flaky and super thin of that variety. And I feel like that is a kind of dough that stays much crispier than something that's, kind of like breading based. But I literally got their takeout on like a Saturday night before like pregame to go out, and it was ready immediately on time, even though they had like a 30-minute wait for the actual restaurant for sitting down, which I was really impressed by because, when you're a restaurant, serving a lot of people in your diner and like in the dining room, it's easy to lose track of the takeout, but they did not. And just another reason to be impressed with Nam. That
sounds so good. Okay, Blake, let's swap. Because my last recommendation is also a Thai restaurant.
Ooh, love it. Okay.
So we're pulling up with the Thai restaurants. And this was a new one for me also, a Reddit recommendation. And that was B Thai. And they were so good.
Okay. Where is B Thai?
It's actually right by Edwards Cinema. And so I guess I don't think about the restaurants there very often. I don't know why. I'm like blind to them. But so I haven't really gone to restaurants in that area. So I didn't even know it was there. And there was a recommendation. It was easy to order online, super simple, easy to customize, and the food was ready really quickly. And it was so good. Again, some of the best Thai that I've had in Boise or in the Treasure Valley. I got the pad ki mao. That's always my favorite. I feel like that's kind of the standard meal to judge a Thai restaurant by, like, how do they make their pad ki mao? But I also got their shrimp spring rolls, and those were so good and came with the most delicious peanut dipping sauce I've ever had. Like,
love a peanut sauce. Love it.
I don't know what they were doing differently. I don't know why it was just like so phenomenal, but like my family devoured it. We were like licking the dish. We're like, what is this? This is like the best thing we've ever had. But they wrapped up their spring rolls in plastic wrap and kept them all nice and together. And they were not like dried out or anything. But then also a family member got their pumpkin curry. And I'd never had that. I was like, okay, you can get that, I guess, if you want. That was so good. Like one of the best curries I've ever had. And there were like these little chunks of pumpkin in it. And it was just really savory. And it was a cold night when we got Thai food. And it just, I don't know, felt so wholesome and delicious. And yeah, I was really, really impressed. One of the best Reddit recommendations I've ever gotten. So I highly recommend Be Thai.
I love a pumpkin curry. I didn't even know, same with you, I didn't even know that this place existed. So I need to try that pumpkin curry. That sounds delicious.
It is so, so good. Okay, Evelyn, what is your final takeout recommendation for everyone?
Okay, you two, I'm going to keep it so real right now. When I think of takeout, I am either hungover or I'm just so lazy. I am not getting out of bed. I am rotting away. And so I love that you are shouting out local spots. But my DoorDash history has to say Wingstop. A chain, I know.
Respect.
But Wingstop gets me through. That is the takeout spot that I am constantly door dashing when I am, like I said, hungover or too lazy to get out of bed. Don't cancel me, please.
No, we love an authentic pick. We love, like, let's be real. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might bully you about this a little bit.
Really?
Go ahead.
I know. Their wings are just so good. I'm sure that there are local wings that are way better, but I also don't get the bone-in wings. I want the like chicken nuggets, the boneless wings or the chicken strips. And I think all the flavors that they have, my favorites are garlic parmesan, the original hot, barbecue, and then this Louisiana rub. And then their fries. Oh my God. I always get these like Parmesan fries. It's all so greasy. And it just warms my heart.
It's exactly what you need. Yeah, it's exactly what you need.
I was going to say, it is truly like bed rotting or hungover food. But sometimes that's what you want.
And honestly, now that you said that, and now I'm like, where are the good local wings? I'm not really sure if we have many. And I'm very out of touch with wing culture. It feels aggressively heterosexual in a way that I cannot access. So, Evelyn, you got to be our dispatch.
I think I'm happy to go in. Yeah.
I was going to say, there's got to be a good local alternative. I'm just not, I don't know, sport or like wings are so like sports coded for me. And that's not something I'm usually involved in. So I don't even know the last time I had wings.
If a wing place starts playing like WNBA on their TVs, then I will be sat. I will be there. I will be their main patron. We're going to turn it into a queer sports bar. Let's do it.
Yes.
I love it. Well, thank you both so much. I am excited about some new spots that I didn't know about or weren't on my radar. And I appreciate all of these scrumptious recommendations for this cold, wintry season that we're in.
Yeah, thank you. I'm hungry now.
Thank you. And, this helps me a lot. I'm going to enter my takeout era for realsies. No chains, no
Change
fast
that DoorDash
food.
history.
Eat local. Yeah.
That's all for today here on CityCast Boise. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe to our Hey Boise newsletter for even more delicious local restaurant tips. We'll be back tomorrow morning with our Friday News Roundup. Catch you then.